Hey, good morning. It's Thursday, and welcome to the show. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, as we'll embark on this morning. We got some great things on the way. Right now, a nice cool 69. If you haven't opened your front door yet, it is some kind of breezy outside. We'll have gusts of about 25 miles an hour on and off today. We'll start out kind of cloudy, and by late afternoon, we should be seeing some sunshine, but high of 83 before it's all said and done. We've got a complete forecast on the way. What is going to happen in a little bit? Hurricane getting ready to come ashore later this afternoon. It is a Cat 1 right now. And let's pull this up where everybody can see as we begin this. Right now, Category 1 should reach a Category 3 by this afternoon around 1 o'clock. Now, this was yesterday listed as a Category 4. They backed it down just a little bit. And again, it could go up a little bit more. I think it's because it moved east just a little bit that brought the wind speed down. Currently this morning, she is moving along at 92 miles an hour, gust of 115, 966 millibars, and moving north-northeast at 11 miles an hour. Now, upon landfall, this is right before it comes ashore, is looking at about 115, gust of about 138. And again, all of that can change a wee bit before it makes landfall later today. And as we zoom in on this, here's Tallahassee right here. Here's Apalachicola, Florida. As we click here, this is going to be Pinnaca, Florida. Did I pronounce that correctly? It's close, maybe a little off there. This will go due north there through Thomasville, Chattahoochee off to on the west side of this, and Valdosta, Georgia on the east side of that. They should get some rain there as we show that we've got hurricane warnings all through up here. Starts at Mobile as we come across for the tropical storm warning, and then as we get here to the Florida coastline, right along in there, it moves to a hurricane warning. Be cautious, be aware of what's going on if you're watching from that eastern side of Bama and on into Florida. We'll keep you updated with the latest on that as it begins. And everybody knows someone who lives in Florida or where these storms are headed. Check on you folks. Make sure they're okay. Shirley, how are you today? I see Miss Ann Hall. Guy is up. Richard and Lois, along with Miss Winnie. Many of you up and going. Whew, we're going to get it together. Right now, let's get a good word. Let's go on out to Collinsville and get our moment for the day.
So picture this. A man and his family are finally able to take some time away and go on a road trip. He takes off down the road, and a few hours later, the car's fuel light comes on. He sees he's got about 45 miles left on the range, so he keeps on keeping on. His wife leans over and sees the fuel light and mentions that it may be time to stop for gas. He waves off the comment and keeps driving. He sees signs for gas stations, exit after exit, yet he keeps driving. His wife mentions again, this time more agitated, that it's time to stop. His range hits 0, and he thinks to himself, I got a few miles left. We'll make it to the exit after next. Finally, the car sputters, and they coast to a stop on the side of the road. He turns to his wife and kids and says angrily to them, I cannot believe we ran out of gas. Man, if that family had any sense, they'd take some of it and knock it into him. He ignored the fuel light, all the road signs, and advice from his family, yet he had the nerve to be angry with them? It doesn't take a genius to call that foolishness. Yet how often do we shake our fists at God for the problems that we walk into on our own? Proverbs 19:3 says this, a man's own foolishness leads him astray, yet his heart rages against the Lord. You see, it would be like a man digging a deep hole and then shaking his fists to the heavens and shouting, God, why did you put me here? When we trust our own judgment and go our own way, it will lead us astray, and there's no one to blame but ourselves. But when we trust God and His ways, we know it leads to the way everlasting, and we can thank Him for that. So, next time you get yourself into trouble, instead of blaming God for the problems you brought on yourself, turn and ask God to lead you and help you. Follow the ways of God, not the ways of man. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. I do hope you enjoyed that. It's always good to get our meaning for the day. So much for that. And speaking of that, we'll have him in here in just a little bit. Brother Ben's going to be here with us. Dr. Alan Brown will join us as we get ready for one. And I've done this before. I hope you have too, if you have not. This weekend, Rose Hill Cemetery, it's the tour. Now, again, I want to remind you, this is not one of those ghost tours. This is just a historical tour that will take place this weekend. A lot of people turn out for it, and if you don't know who's buried there, this is good. It's a lot of fun as they show you the different graves, and it will be at night. They will have cast put up. I think a lot of members of Meridian Little Theater help out with this as portraying people. If you've never seen it, I invite you down. We'll be down. Take a look at it. It's coming up this weekend. I believe Saturday night. We'll get the details with Dr. Alan Brown, one of our closest friends that comes in. Known him many, many years. We look forward to that. This is almost identical to the movie Speed. Do y'all remember that? To where the bus was hijacked? Police were having to stop it. Well, other than getting over 55, but California is where this all happened, on a Los Angeles freeway, to where a gunman hijacked a bus. Ended up someone was shot. They later died from their injuries. Police were called in. They tracked the bus. They spiked it. Eventually, getting the bus to stop, one person was taken into custody. It's not told why he hijacked or what was going on with it, but very much playing close in hand to where the movie was. The person was taken into custody. They said the bus driver did his protocol the way he should have. We don't have buses here anymore, do we? Or have I?
Well, we've got that
The
little
trolley?
bus from Philadelphia that services Meridian.
What comes? It comes people back and forth from Philadelphia to Meridian, but we don't have like a bus stop like we because we used to, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
I thought
And big city buses.
big city buses. When did that go away?
Oh, probably the early '80s.
Okay, I remember as a child seeing it. I like using that word when I was a child. It makes me feel young again.
Those
But
buses are now actually part of the.
Odie's trying to figure out where they're parked.
Been sunk at the
Been sunk.
in the ocean.
Okay, they've been sunk. Huh. But anyway, yeah, Meridian once did have bus system. Well, isn't that something there? We all know that. Tommy Lee, y'all know him, that singer. I can't name a song that he done. He was married. Who was that girl? Pamela Anderson, maybe? He was married to her. Coyote came up and tried to take his wife's puppy dog. They've got the whole thing on video if you hadn't watched that. I think everybody can relate to trying to protect your pup when things happen like that. Let's see here. There was an explosion at a courthouse in California. Have y'all heard about this? And it ties back to somebody that was due in court that day trying to cause a commotion not to have to go. My, oh my. Let's see here. Oh, by now, we put this out last night. We've seen him. He's been very controversial as we go back to New York City. Try to run down Giuliani. Boy, they really got a problem on their hands now as Eric Adams is being urged to resign. Why? He's been indicted. My, oh my, oh my. This is getting worse and worse as we get into all this. He's going to be facing federal charges probably today. They haven't pushed everything out, but it ain't looking good for him. Campaign financing a part of this. They raided his assistant's home. It gets worse and worse and worse. We'll have more on this as the day begins. We broke that news last night as serious. Who will take over? Will they have a special election? Something will have to happen. My, oh my, when our leaders are the criminals. Oh, it's not the only case. Y'all know that as well as I do. I don't even know if I should address this, but it's a headline across America. Remember the guy that tanked the sales of Bud Light? Do y'all remember that guy, that Dylan Mulvaney? Maybe that's how Mulvaney. Y'all remember that name there? He's got a book coming out. He's wanting you to buy it. It's his transformation from dude to gal. In short, I'm going to move on. I have nothing else to say. Y'all quit. Hush. Studio audience, leave me alone. Vice President Harris is going to visit the southern border for the first time since she became a nominee for president. She still hadn't spoke, to my knowledge, or given a press conference, where she took questions. But we'll see what becomes of that. Let's see. Ooh. An ex-New York prosecutor that's indicted in a bribery case, well, he's apparently passed away from a suicide. They came to his house to arrest him, and he had done the deed. They're proposing this. This is getting more and more each day as we watch this, where Israel is not back down. They're urging for a 21-day ceasefire. Will it happen? We don't know. Israel meant it. You heard our people, we will come, and they have done just that. They're urging for this. This will not go anywhere, but I thought I would bring it up because it is in the headlines this morning. Just because the House does it doesn't mean it will ever pass the U.S. Senate. But the House votes to condemn Biden, Harris, and others over 2021 Afghanistan withdrawal. I don't see anything happening with that. Looks good on paper is what it amounts to, is what I see out of that. Let's see what else we have. Getting arrested in front of your children is not good because a parent is supposed to set a role model for their children. We look to Disneyland. A mother has been arrested. She was cuffed in front of her children with her children following behind her as she tried to get in, devious way into Disneyland. She was going to not pay and slip in. She was arrested for what she was doing. Bad example. Always remember that. You are an example to someone. You may think it, but don't follow through with things like that. It's just not worth it. Now what do your kids have to look up to? That bothers me. We have to all be role models. We'll put Preacher Man on the spot here in a minute. Make him tell us all about being role models. He's here. He's in the studio audience with us this morning as well. We've got that and so much more. We're going to do your forecast next. That's a few of the headlines that are shaping America. Why not? Let's shape America. Let's make it. Well, y'all know where I'm going with that. We'll be right back with your forecast next this morning.
Here at Meridian Cycles, customer service is our #1 priority. And when you buy any Polaris, Can-Am, Honda, CF Moto, or Suzuki ATV or side-by-side, we're going to give you your first oil change absolutely free because we service everything we sell here at Meridian Cycles. Come see us at 80 Highway 19 North or call us 601-485-8700. Come see us.
Hi folks, Paul Brown with Dixie Buildings. We're here to take care of all your building needs for your personal and your business needs. That includes portable buildings, carports, sheds. Don't forget your hunting camps are coming in. You can start out with our 8x10s. If we cannot haul it, we can build it for you on site. We have 2 locations, one on Highway 19 South and our home office just around the corner on Long Creek Road. Just give us a call at 601-483-4943.
Welcome back. We'll go back to radar in just a moment to give you a bird's eye view of what's happening out there as we get ready for at least a Hurricane 3. It's downgraded overnight. We'll get back into those forecast models of what is expected. Right now, let's get closer into a local forecast, and then we'll expand back out.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Those record highs and record lows, 2016 has been a headline most of this week. Record high set back in 2016 at 99. Back in 01, which was, 23 years ago? 44 this morning when you woke up with that. We need some of that cool weather, don't we? It'd be nice. Our outlook for today looks to be 83. Now, it'll be kind of cloudy for the morning part and then start to become sunny by the afternoon. But beware, gusty. It's not going to be a great hair day for a lot of folks. Might be a bad day for folks who wear cowboy hats and have to chase them across parking lots. That's been known to happen. As we look to Bama, we should see 80 there in Demopolis, Tuscaloosa, around 81. But cooler, look at this. As we get into Birmingham, Anniston at 73, due south to Auburn. Those War Eagles will see 73 today as well. The closer you get toward that storm, the cooler it's going to be and wetter it will be in eastern Bama. As we see here, look at this heat wave coming from California, starting to make it into northern Texas as we have a little bit warmer weather there. Here's our outlook for the next 7 days as we see today at 82. As this storm moves past us to our east, we'll drop to 76 tomorrow. We do have a 30% chance of showers moving in. If you're getting ready to throw out seed, getting those fields planted, 30% chance. I can't guarantee anything, but it's better than anything else I have to offer you because it's 0% chance after tomorrow all the way through next Wednesday. 0. Look at that. 82, 85 is the best we'll get on the high side of the thermometer. But great weather, cooler. We like 85-degree weather, don't we? As we look at this is not looking good for the deer hunter until the 8th of October. We'll have about a 60% chance then, edging right at that. Highs will be mid-80s until we get to about the 8th there once that rain moves in and back down into the 70s. It's been kind of seesawing back and forth on our extended forecasts, anywhere from 77 to about 85. But that is cooler than what we've had, isn't it? Humidity has felt a lot better the last few days. As we go to our fishing forecast from J&J Auto Sales, looks like today 8 o'clock is the time to be there. Again, make sure to fish with the wind from 8 until 10:15. Should be about the good time to fish today. We'll have another time coming up after 9 o'clock tonight that's best, but a minor time this afternoon around 4 o'clock if you just got to go. 4 o'clock is your second time to go fishing and check all that out. Now, let's look at this, and then we're going to go back and recap from the live radar of what we've got. Here's what I've got this brought in from the National Hurricane Center. As you'll see, here's Isaiah. Right here, this is moving along at 52 miles an hour, gusts of 63. Millibars at 997. It's away from the eastern coastline. We've got an 80% chance of this storm developing. And as we look at Helene, we're looking at 92 miles an hour, 115 mile an hour gusts. Those millibars at 966, moving north-northeast at 11 miles an hour. Now let's switch back to radar at this point so we can get a closer look at what's live and going on this morning. As we pull up radar, here we go. Let's move in on this. And again, right now, she's sitting right there this morning. That was a couple hours ago. By this afternoon at 1 o'clock, this moves to a Category 3, up to winds of 115 miles an hour, gust of 138. Mike's weather page is one of the best that you've got when it comes to forecasting all this. And I saw him where he was talking about last night where he'd stopped to go storm chase in this. And he said the local folks just had no idea of what was coming as they sit around in restaurants and ate. He said they don't know what is coming their way. This is a huge storm. Now, here's Apalachicola, Florida, just to the east of there. And this is where this has moved and caused it to come down just a little bit. Woodville, right there, and this is going to come ashore. Surf, Florida, right along in there is where the eye of this will come ashore. But as we'll see here, Apalachicola, Florida is in this all the way over to Perry, Florida. This will move due north. Here's Chattahoochee right there. Oak Grove, Florida, those areas there. As we go northward, it's going to take that western hook. Now, if you'll notice here, that extreme northeastern portion of Mississippi is in the little loop there as it turns west. That'll be days away, though. Nothing. And I had somebody send me an inbox earlier this morning that had read some forecasts that was early on trying to say that we were going to get stuff here. It's not. It's going to be due east of here, and it will be in Florida, Georgia, basically, is where this picks up right there at the Columbus, Georgia line eastward into Georgia and Florida. Again, no rain in our forecast expected from any of this, but that's the outlook as we back out and look at that. There you go. And then out here, we've got this one developing. It's going to go way away from us as we look at the world map. But nothing happening here in Mississippi. Look at this. As we get over to Funroe, Louisiana, nothing happening there. Shreveport, out to Dallas, Texas. We do have a little bit of fog showing up there north of Little Rock, Arkansas. Other than that, it's going to be a great day. Again, let me remind you, it's going to be breezy today. Is that the doctor I heard making it? Doctor's in the
Doc
house?
snuck up in here.
Doc is in here also. We've got fairy tales to tell from him. Is that what it is, Doc?
No.
He said no fairy tales. Join us all. We're going to have a great time coming up at 7 o'clock. We can't do it without you. You're what makes our show. It begins at 7 sharp. That's roughly in 5 minutes. We'll go back live from this broadcast to bring you another show. Come join us, won't you? Get your coffee ready. Maybe you need a biscuit in between now and then. Get it all ready and let's sit down and we'll discuss what's going on. It all happens at 7. Odie is in as well. We'll see you soon as we'll kick off the morning show.